this idea of like hindsight is 2020.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, not really though. But where I'm going with that is,
Oh yeah, you gotta follow me up on that.
I just feel like we're not really fumbling anything. What happens for a reason. And even though yes, we can learn from those mistakes and or mistakes or what happened, and kind of realize like, hey, oh, this person responded this way. This was the reaction that happened when I gave them this response. I may not do that in the future, but at the same time, sometimes feathers need to be ruffled. Sometimes relationships need to end, and sometimes it's not always gonna look like this perfect like idea where everybody did everything right, and it like that's also life. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way that you can ever just know everything in that moment and be like, oh, I should have known not to say, like, because you're reacting based on what you're feeling in the moment, the energy, not just the information you have, the energy the other person again, what happened that day. You know what I'm saying? So you're reacting based on all of that. And you can't really say that, well, if I would have had this information, I would have did this. Because there were so many other players that impacted how you reacted.
Yeah.
So that I feel like we kind of forget about. It's like, no, honey, like, yes, you found out later on this was the case, but the way you were feeling was the way you were feeling for that reason, and it happened for that reason. And sometimes people need to get upset. Sometimes people need to cry. Sometimes people need to move around.
Yo, and that's powerful. I love that you said that because we do get fixated in the moment. We become prisoners of the moment, and whatever we did, it has to be the cause.
Right.
You know, when it could be various other factors, like you said, like what they were going through, how they were raised, just how they perceive things and process information. All of that matters. And I think it's good to have more of an open mind and be a little more forgiving on yourself, because we're all just figuring this out. You know, day by day, moment by moment, we're responding and reacting. Like you said, I think that's powerful.
Thank you. I just be saying how I feel and think, but sometimes people have their own lives, they have their own convictions, they have their own insecurities, and they expect you to know them all and step around their triggers. Like, I'm not about to keep doing. I'm not about to sit up here and be like, oh, if I didn't have said this and I didn't say that, like, I said what I said. I'm sorry you were triggered by it, but maybe I'm not sorry because maybe you needed to be triggered.
You know, I think that comes with maturity too, because like when you're younger,
right?
I think we really care a lot what people think, but when you get older, you start to realize that what they think ain't really all that important.
Right.
You know, and this is just one perspective of many. There's billions of people in the world, and everybody has their own flavor.